Today, let's delve into a captivating tale that may not be as well known as David and Goliath, or Daniel in the Lion's Den, but is equally intriguing. We're referring to Benaiah and the Egyptian, and Benaiah and the Moabite Ariels. If these names are unfamiliar to you, you're not alone. Benaiah is a lesser-known figure in Christian circles, but he deserves recognition. Before we proceed, I would like to extend an invitation for you to subscribe to our channel and share where you're tuning in from along with how you're feeling today in the comments section. David, the skilled and charismatic king of Israel, owed much of his success to not only his own abilities as a warrior and strategist, but also to the support of other notable men. In 1 Chronicles 11:10 of the Bible, it is explicitly stated that Benaiah stood out as the greatest among them. When Saul passed away and David arrived in Hebron to claim his crown, many valiant warriors from the tribes of Israel were ready to support him. They armed themselves and prepared to help David ascend to the throne, despite Saul's death. This was due to the fear that Saul's supporters or opportunists might raise armed opposition. What makes this story even more intriguing is the fact that several thousand Levites were among these warriors. This may seem strange considering that the Levites were typically associated with religious service in the tabernacle and temple. However, the Bible did not explicitly prohibit Levites from military service, although they were generally not included in military censuses. What's even more surprising is that Joiada, a high priest and the father of Benaiah, chose to join this military force and brought 3,700 men with him. This raises questions about the relationship between the Levites, religion, and military service in that particular context. The Bible doesn't provide exact details on how Benaiah met David, or when he became a part of the king's ranks. However, it's possible that Benaiah was a young man when he witnessed David's coronation in Hebron. According to the chronology, he was likely 15 to 20 years younger than David, and also served during the reign of Solomon, David's son. This means that during the coronation in Hebron, Benaiah may not have been old enough to participate in combat. Nevertheless, the impact of his father, Joiada, during the coronation event, and the legacy he left for Benaiah were significant. The Bible suggests that Joiada was a man of action, and this influenced Benaiah to become one of the most formidable warriors in biblical history. Moreover, Benaiah's grandfather was also a valiant man, which aligns with the warrior nature of his family. Benaiah continued this tradition of bravery and passed it on to the next generation. According to the Bible, he had a son who held a high-ranking position under his command. Although the details about Benaiah's family are scarce, we are only starting to uncover the secrets of this incredible warrior. Benaiah was a highly skilled combatant who excelled in hand-to-hand combat. His agility and reflexes were unmatched, making him a formidable opponent. 2. Samuel 23:20, 22 and I Chronicles 11:22, 23 both describe his ferocity in battle. Benaiah is celebrated for 3 remarkable feats that have made him a legendary figure. Firstly, he vanquished 2 formidable warriors known as the Ariels of Moab. Secondly, he courageously killed a lion in a pit, demonstrating incredible strength and bravery. Finally, he defeated a giant Egyptian in combat. What adds to the allure of this story is the ambiguity surrounding the Hebrew word Ariels. Despite being unclear, scholars suggest that Ariels, a Hebrew word derived from the roots meaning lion and God, could mean men like lions. This raises some intriguing questions. It is unknown whether the men in question were fierce like lions, or possibly a type of hybrid human, similar to the giants of their time. Despite this mystery, it is clear that these warriors, known as Ariels, were incredibly powerful. This raises the question of why their story was included in a chapter of grand feats performed by men. The Ariels were not ordinary soldiers. They were so formidable that even the bravest fighter would tremble in their sandals. Despite this, Benaiah was able to confront and defeat 2 of them. One day, while strolling in the cold, Benaiah stumbled upon a lion trapped in a pit. Without hesitation, he decided to face the wild beast. It is possible that he did this to protect the local residents, as the lion may have posed an imminent threat. Although the biblical text lacks details, it is clear that killing a lion is an extraordinary achievement, especially when you willingly enter the same pit as the lion, limiting your escape options. Benaiah was a skilled warrior, but unlike superheroes with superpowers like Luke Skywalker, he had no special abilities. However, he had sharp reflexes and vast experience in combat, which made him a formidable opponent. Armed only with a sword or spear, He bravely faced a lion and emerged victorious. This act of bravery solidified his reputation as one of the greatest warriors in biblical history. Benaiah's final feat was equally impressive. He encountered a towering Egyptian who stood 5 cubits tall, approximately 2.25 meters in height, almost as tall as Goliath. The Egyptian was armed with a spear while Benaiah had only a staff. Despite the disadvantage, Benaiah's speed and dexterity proved to be his greatest assets. He disarmed the Egyptian, took his spear, and killed him with it. This feat was a testament to Benaiah's combat skills and bravery. Benaiah was a respected and feared warrior, known for his leadership qualities. He held various command positions in David's military organization, which consisted of 3 main elements: the army, led by Joab, the militia, a reserve force, and the royal guard. What's remarkable is that Benaiah served as a commander in all 3 of these elements, showcasing his versatility and talent as a military leader. One crucial group within David's army was the 30, which formed the core of the army and played a significant role in consolidating David's kingdom. Benaiah was once their commander, and being part of this elite group was no small feat. It not only highlighted his skill as a warrior, but also his character, earning him high honors and recognition from the best of the best. Few men in history have received such an honor. He was not only a member of the army and the 30, but also played a vital role in organizing and supervising the militia during the 3rd month of the year. The militia was comprised of reserve units divided into 12 divisions, 1 for each month of the year. Each division had a different commander, and Benaiah was responsible for the 3rd month's division. Additionally, Benaiah's son held a command position within the same division, with Benaiah having administrative control and his son overseeing day-to-day operations. This arrangement made sense as Benaiah was already occupied with his duties as the commander of David's royal guard. The royal guard was unique as it consisted of foreign fighters, the Cherethites and Pelethites, who were possibly of Philistine origin. While some commentators labeled them as mercenaries, their true nature remains unclear. I am not entirely convinced that mercenaries are loyal to anything other than the money they receive. Once the payment stops, their loyalty disappears too. However, David had a track record of winning the loyalty of foreign fighters. Even though these men were paid by the royal purse, I believe that other factors motivated them to stand by David. Despite being foreigners in the land of Israel, David chose Benaiah to earn the respect of the foreign fighters, especially those with Philistine roots. This choice is a testament to David's character, sympathy, and most importantly, his loyalty. David's royal guard was not just a group of Secret Service agents. They not only protected the king, but also participated in battles. The text suggests that they were a formidable force. While the army and the militia played vital roles in expanding David's empire, the royal guard helped him maintain it. They are prominently mentioned in 3 rebellions. In addition to the coup led by his son Absalom, King David faced another attempted coup in his final days. This time, his son Adonijah tried to proclaim himself king while taking advantage of his father's fragile state. Adonijah gained the support of high-ranking military officials, 1 chief priest, and most of his brothers, which put David's leadership and kingdom stability to the test. However, Adonijah intentionally kept several others in the dark about his plan, including David's mighty men, known as the 30, Solomon, the prophet Nathan, and Benaiah. Benaiah's unwavering loyalty to David was well known, and Adonijah did not even try to ask for his help, thinking he wouldn't need it. Unfortunately, he was mistaken, as Joab, David's army commander, and Abiathar the priest, both loyal to David until then, were swayed by Adonijah's influence. For Adonijah to become king and gain public support, he needed to meet certain conditions. First, he required military support to quell any opposition. Joab's backing would give him control over the army. Second, he needed a priestly endorsement to establish his divine legitimacy. With Abiathar by his side, he could make this case. Finally, Adonijah would have to limit opposition from the royal family. He managed to gain the support of most of his brothers, except for Solomon, who was the intended heir to the throne. These were the conditions that Adonijah sought to solidify his power as king. However, he soon faced an unforeseen obstacle: the intervention of Benaiah and others loyal to David. Despite this, Adonijah remained confident that the throne would be his, and invited his supporters to a banquet to celebrate his success. David, the father of Solomon, demonstrated superior cunning and strategic thinking compared to Adonijah. Despite being weakened, David was able to gather public support for his son, with the help of key players such as Benaiah. While Adonijah enjoyed a feast with his followers, David arranged for Solomon to be anointed as king at the Gihon Springs, with the aid of the priest Zadok and the prophet Nathan. To legitimize the anointing and provide protection, Solomon required military support, which was provided by Benaiah through the Cherethites and Pelethites whom he commanded. Benaiah's loyalty to David was later rewarded by Solomon, whereas Joab, who sided with Adonijah, faced the consequences. Under Solomon's reign, Benaiah's role in the kingdom became even more prominent due to his fierce loyalty and trustworthiness. Solomon entrusted him with the responsibility of executing key figures who had previously escaped punishment under David's rule and posed a threat to Solomon's own rule. Benaiah played a crucial role in maintaining the stability of Solomon's kingdom by eliminating threats. Adonijah, who had previously attempted to seize power, was spared by Solomon. However, he sealed his fate by making an inappropriate request through Bathsheba. Benaiah received the order to execute him and carried it out. Unlike Joab, Benaiah was a loyal and discreet military leader who avoided politics. He was balanced and graceful in his actions, and displayed respect and calmness during his interaction with Joab before his execution. After David's death, Joab sought refuge in the tabernacle, knowing his days were numbered. Solomon ordered Benaiah to execute him, and when he approached Joab, he ordered him to come out of the tent. Joab refused, hoping for leniency due to the sanctity of the place. However, Benaiah chose to seek further guidance from the king, instead of acting impulsively. When King Solomon ordered him to proceed, Benaiah followed the orders and killed Joab where he stood. The execution of Joab by Benaiah carries significant symbolism. As a Levite and descendant of Aaron, Benaiah had the divine authority to protect the tabernacle. By carrying out the judgment, he not only obeyed the king's command as a warrior, but also acted on his spiritual authority. This dramatic scene showcases Benaiah's obedience to the king and his spiritual authority as a Levite. Shimei, from the house of Saul, hurled curses and insults at David as he fled from Jerusalem during Absalom's coup. He went as far as throwing stones at David, the king, and his valiant men as they passed by. Abishai, one of the 30 and Joab's brother, offered to eliminate him permanently, but David stopped him, sparing Shimei. The loyalty of his men kept them from acting. When David returned to Jerusalem, Shimei begged for his life, and David promised to spare him. However, Solomon was less patient. During King Solomon's reign, Shimei was given specific instructions not to leave Jerusalem, but he still had certain privileges. However, Shimei disobeyed these instructions by chasing after 2 runaway servants while riding on a donkey. This angered Solomon, and he sought revenge on behalf of his father. Benaiah was tasked with carrying out the punishment. Benaiah played a vital role in consolidating the kingdom for Solomon. He was the only person Solomon trusted unconditionally, and he rewarded him by appointing him as the commander of the army in place of Joab. We do not hear about Benaiah again in the biblical record, which may be a testament to his leadership. Solomon's reign was relatively peaceful compared to David's, and Benaiah's leadership may have played a role in maintaining that peace. Benaiah's contribution to the stability and prosperity of the kingdom under Solomon demonstrates his skill and loyalty as a military leader. Stay tuned for more fascinating Bible stories and notable characters like Benaiah. Until next time, may the presence of God be a constant in your life, bringing blessings, joy, and love. God bless you.